Prabhupada. I've spent some time today and discovered from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu what was the reason why Balaram didn't go with Krishna on the day of the Kaliya Damana Lila. Why didn't he go? According to, there's a section of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that's describing the particular feelings of love that Balaram has for Krishna. It's, there's a whole list of persons that have special love for Krishna. Balaram is one. So Balaram, the explanation goes like this. Balaram had instructed I'm the elder brother, and I'm instructing you, don't go to Kalia Hrada, Kalia Lake, today. Today is my birthday. And then the commentary explains that the system at the time was, Rohini really liked doing rituals for the benefit of her son. So when the moon would go through the constellation of Balaram's birth star, she'd have a festival. Not his actual birthday, but in that constellation, the moon passes through, etc. But so that was it. It wasn't his actual birthday, because Jiva Goswami's commentary is it would be a big deal on his birthday, but Krishna wouldn't go anywhere on his birthday. But it was one of those days that even Balaram said, "Don't go." He went anyways. So that's why Balaram didn't go, because it was Rohini kept him back home. Shh, Madhava. Shh. Bye. He's cute, huh? Haribo. So this is part 4, and some of you may have missed parts 1 or 2 or 3, and they're all recorded, but a little summary. Part 1 was up to the point where Krishna was in the coils of the Kaliya serpent. The cowherd boys had, as if dead, they fainted to the ground after drinking water, because it's hot summer in Vrindavan. Krishna glanced at them. By his glance, they were revived. Krishna decided now is the time to get this poisonous serpent out of Vrindavan and out of the Jamuna River. So he jumped in the lake and started doing what he did and made a big ruckus, and Kalia came to the surface. Who has come to my lake? And he saw Krishna. He didn't see beauty, he saw the object of his anger. So he tried to wrap him in his coils and bit him in his chest, and that was the end of part 1. Then part 2 was Krishna's in the coils of the Kaliya serpent, and there's this whole range of how people responded. It was, we discussed this, it was stimulation of love by a danger. Commonly the cowherd boys are in danger and Krishna rescues them. This time Krishna's in danger. What are they going to do? They fainted, they went, they did different, their response was a whole range of response, because the whole of Vrindavan got involved in this. And then the end of that second section, after Krishna had elevated their intensity of their love to the max, or it looked like they were going to die, he decided, okay, enough of this. And then that's the end of that section. The next section, he slipped. Section 3, he slipped from the coils of the Kaliya serpent. He made himself big because he had mystic powers. And he made himself really big, and the Kalia couldn't bear the strain of his coils, so he released Krishna, and then Krishna started moving around and around and around and got him dizzy and fatigued, and then he jumped up on the hoods of the Kaliya serpent and started dancing the celebrated pastime with 1,001 different paintings of Krishna dancing on the hoods of the Kaliya serpent. Very creative artwork. Smashing his hoods, smashing his hoods, smashing his hoods. He started vomiting fire, he started vomiting blood. Blood was coming from his eyes. He was nearly dead. And then the wives of the Kaliya serpent came forward. So that's where we are, part 4. The prayers of the wives of the Kaliya serpent. That's today, this evening. And they're very elevated prayers because they're very elevated devotees. And we'll see a little bit more. Here's this recording from this very nice, there's only a few verses from this set of prayers by Rupa Goswami honoring Kaliya Lila. Here's one of them. Let's see if it works. It didn't work.
कामं दामोदर मम मना पन्नगापीन भोगो कामं दामोदर मम मना पन्नगापीन भोगो दुष्टासिभि कुटिलवलनै शोभयत्येष लोकम् दुष्टासिभिः कुटिलवलनैः शोभयत्येष लोकम् तद्विक्रान्तस्त्वमुदितपद द्वन्द्वपङ्केरुहाकम् तद्विक्रान्तस्त्वमुदितपद द्वन्द्वपङ्केरुहाकम् कुर्वन्तर्वीकर दमनहे ताण्डवे दण्डयामि कुर्वन्तर्वीकर दमनहे ताण्डवे दण्डयामि.
O Lord Krishna, with its crooked motions and the sharp fangs of its wicked desires, the great snake of my mind torments the entire world. O all-powerful Lord, O crusher of Kalia, please punish that snake with your dancing. Please place on it the mark of your lotus feet. We're going to hear more about the lotus feet. It's in the prayers of the wives. So Krishna accepts the prayers of the Naga Patnis. Patnis is the wives of the serpent Naga Patnis. Here's Sridhar Swami identifying there's 3 parts. 6 verses. They express their agreement with the punishment. Then the next 10 verses, very sweet, they offer obeisances to Lord Hari in different ways. And then finally, the wives submit their prayerful request, like deliver our husband. So the first 6 verses are their expressions of the mercy that's built into what he just did. Like it was appropriate, and it wasn't just punishment, it was mercy. There's punishment, but there's mercy, because you took away all of his sinfulness by the punishment. So Sridhar Swami again, first trying to pacify the Lord by acknowledging the correctness of his giving punishment, they offered prayers. In the verse beginning, Nyaya. So here's the Sanskrit of each of these first 6 verses isn't given, but it's okay. You've given just punishment that's for our ultimate benefit. So here's the translation. The punishment this offender has been subjected to is certainly just. After all, you have incarnated within the world to curb down envious and cruel persons. So these there must be a explanation, but I don't ask me what the explanation is, because the answer is I don't know. How did these ladies, who are pure devotee personalities, marry Kalia? He's a bad guy. At least it seems like. But anyway, they're pure devotees, and their prayers reveal their devotion, including to their husband, but to the personality of Godhead. They understand who he is, to curb down the envious and cruel persons. You came for that purpose, so it's appropriate. Continuing with the translation, you are so impartial that you look equally upon your enemies and your own sons. For when you, he's just a little boy, so he doesn't have sons yet. For when you impose a punishment on a living being, you know it to be for his ultimate benefit. That's the first of their prayers. Knowingly, it's the benefit of our husband that you just did this. So this is Vishwanath. So your real purpose, though your real purpose is distribution of prema bhakti, that is accomplished with the punishment of the wicked. So he awakened the end result is Kalia became a lover of Krishna. The bad stuff was taken away, and beneath the bad stuff was his wonderful position. Here's commentary by several acharyas. His punishment is proper because he committed sins against Garuda, against the living entities in the Yamuna, and in Vrindavan, and thus against you. Because you give just punishment, you have appeared to punish the afflictors of the devotees. You have also come to give mercy to the devotees. So punishment and mercy, both. If you did not appear, there would be no punishment for the evil and no mercy for the devotees. So when you come, you're doing this for this and that for that, and it's perfectly appropriate. You're equal towards your enemies and sons. Thus, though you punish the wicked, you do not hate them. So the behavior is different than the person. And that's clear. I mean, that's our philosophy, but sometimes we don't live by our philosophy. We hate the person or have ill feeling towards the person. And when someone gets into that kind of a mood, it's really hard to check it. I know some people like that, and you can say it nicely, you can say it strongly, you can say it mildly, you can say it, you can ask it, you can, nobody's home. So what to do? What to do? You give the results which cure the wicked of their nature by giving them hellish punishment and then giving them eternal happiness. That's commentary. Now here's the next of this first 6 verses. Since it is for our ultimate welfare, it's nothing but your mercy. So you're giving mercy to the devotee, but you're giving mercy to us by freeing our husband from this wickedness that's within him. What you have done here is actually mercy for us, since the punishment you give certainly drives away all their, that's in this case the person being punished or their husband, the contamination is being driven away. They understand it. I mean, they witnessed it. The fire was coming, and then the blood was coming, and poison was coming, and he was completely clean by the end of the dancing activities. Our husband is so sinful that he assumed the body of a serpent. Your anger towards him is obviously to be understood as your mercy. So mercy towards him means mercy towards us, because they're faithful wives. Brihat Bhagavatamrita comments on this particular prayer by saying that only great souls like Garuda can have the honor of being the Supreme Lord's carrier. So he became, at least for a while, the Lord's carrier, the dancing stage. Sridhar Swami. Thus, the punishment which eradicated the sinfulness due to that birth is indeed mercy, even though it appears to be a manifestation of anger. Now, Kalia was certainly, there's many expressions of it, his anger towards Krishna. And it looked like Krishna became angry towards him. Well, angry at least that he had contaminated the Yamuna River and, get out of town. So angry that he had contaminated the river Yamuna and was causing disruption for everybody and everything in the vicinity. The birds flying over, too much poisonous fumes, they would fall into the lake or into the river just from the poison of the fumes and all the vegetation around, etc., etc., etc. So Krishna was angry at that, transcendently angry. Srila Madhvacharya points out in this connection that when a pious person suffers in this world, he realizes the punishment the Supreme Lord is meting out to me is actually his causeless mercy. Now, pious persons realize this. This is BBT commentary. Envious persons, however, even after being punished by the Lord for their purification, continue to envy him and be resentful. And this attitude is the reason for their continued failure to understand the absolute truth. So the problems that Kalia had were deep and hard to eradicate. You show mercy to us because punishment of the wicked uproots the bad desires completely. That is directly experienced by us. This is the wives indicating. Taking away the offensive snake body of Kalia, who identified with his body is seen here by surrender and appearance of intelligence, even anger, the cause of punishment is mercy. Now, it wasn't anger. He wasn't punishing him because of anger. He was punish him because it was disruptive of the whole of Vrindavan. Taking away his sins is not punishment. You remained in his coils, then you danced in joy on his hoods, apparently in anger. So here's a nice AI graphic of Krishna receiving the prayers of the wives of the Kaliya serpent. Of course, there are different ways of, how do you draw a female that's married to a serpent? Now, sometimes they have the upper part of their body is human-like, and then the lower part is serpent-like, like this one. So the third of these 6 verses. What's the cause of this causeless mercy of yours? Did our husband carefully perform austerities in a previous life? And commentary. I am not pleased with wealth or with tapas. Regular tapas does not invoke Krishna's mercy in this way. So if it wasn't austerities, perhaps he performed these austerities with his mind free of pride and full of respect for others. This sort of austerity can be performed only by Vaishnavas. So there's another way of depicting the wives, half human, half serpent. But Kalia pretty much just shows as a serpent. Is that why you are pleased with him? Or did he carefully execute religious duties? Mercy towards all entities does not arise in the heart of the karmi, and such dry execution of religious duties does not invoke Krishna's mercy in this way. So when it's speaking of religious duties, this means good karma. That's the meaning. Religious duties, good karma. Things that are to be done by a pious person. Our husband must have performed that dharma which shows mercy to others, which is performed only by a Vaishnava. We did this already. The rising of good fortune, of mercy, given to Kalia was not from tapas or dharma. That was already established. And what was the cause? It's inexplicable. I didn't include it, but there's verses in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that indicate like this. When Krishna gives his mercy, it may appear to be a cause, like a circumstantial something or other. But Krishna doesn't need a cause. And, Rupa Goswami gives examples and examples and examples. There's no cause at all. He just bestows his mercy. And so they're fishing around for what's the cause of his being so kind to Kalia. It's just Krishna's inconceivable mercy, inexplicable mercy. It's just the power of his mercy. There's 3 verses, 3 more out of the 6, that express this. The mercy is the unparalleled opportunity of being touched by your dust, the dust of your lotus feet. So there's a lot of conversation in commentary about the dust of his lotus feet. We do not know how the serpent Kalia has attained this great opportunity, being touched by the dust of your lotus feet. For this end, the goddess of fortune performed austerities for centuries, giving up all her desires and taking austere vows. Commentary. Seeing the sweetness of Krishna, Lakshmi, who resided on Vishnu's chest, became greedy. Lolyam, transcendental greedy, and performed austerities but did not attain him. But she gained the boon by getting a type of residence on Krishna's chest. Now that's one type of commentary. Notice that Sanatana Goswami is one of the commentators. But here's what he writes in Brihat Bhagavatamrita. very clear. The Supreme Goddess Mahalakshmi is the eternal beloved of the Lord of Vaikuntha. She does not have to worship him to achieve him. But her expansions descend as avatars to accompany the various incarnations of Narayana. And some of these avatars of Mahalakshmi, such as the daughter of Brigu, are described in Vedic scriptures as performing penances to obtain the Lord as their husband. Just a little left field, something related that I've been investing time in. In the year 2010, that was a few years ago, I was a GBC chairman, and one of the things that I did was, there's no job description for what's a GBC chairman supposed to do. So I went to Rabindra Swarup Prabhu because I thought he was a really good chairman, and I asked, what are you supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And he gave a very simple answer. He said, literally, get the globe, turn the globe, think of what's some place in the globe that's like really important, and go spend some time there. So, 2010, Tamal Krishna Raj was no longer there. Giridhari Swami's health was a wreck. He was unable to do his GBC service. He's still in that condition now. And then Chandrasekhar Prabhu, disciple of Tamal Krishna Maharaj, was blackballed or blacklisted. He couldn't get in the country. So there's this huge population of people with no leadership. So I got a visa and went to China. And okay, I see what you're doing. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. And since then, I've been paying visits to China and doing classes that they have what they call Voice of Vaikuntha, VOV, Voice of Vaikuntha, and different what they call overseas devotees have a time slot once a week, and they give a class to all the mainland devotees. And very common, the number of participants in that Voice of Vaikuntha call or class, Zoom class, is around 360 people. So that's quite an audience every other week. And then there's Monday. And so different topics, depending upon, the circumstance. So one of the topics that's been going on is the summary, a quick overview, or the Srimad Bhagavatam flow is what it's called. We're up to Canto 8 with, different chunks, different sets of chapters per canto, and then the next, and then the next, and the next. So we just completed, all this is background, so we just completed the churning of the milk ocean. We didn't complete it yet. It's just, because Dhanvantari came out of the churning of the milk ocean with this pot of nectar, and the demon snatched the pot of nectar right out of his hand. And then there was, who's going to get the nectar? So then the demigods approached Lord Vishnu, and the Vishnu said, no problem, I'll take care of it. And Vishnu appeared in a female form, Mohini Murti. And the demons liked her more than they liked the pot of nectar. Somehow that happened. And so she asked them, you give me the pot of nectar and I'll distribute it. Oh, sure, we trust you. And she said, why do you trust me? I'm just a prostitute, but no, we trust you. Anyway, so in the churning of that milk ocean before the pot of nectar came, there were many, many other things. And one of the many other things, listen to this, one of the many other things was Airavata, the elephant carrier of Indra. But the whole churning of the milk ocean, from the very Canto 8, Chapter 1, it started by Durvasa Muni benevolently gave his garland to Indra. So what did Indra do? He placed the garland of Durvasa Muni on the elephant trunk of Airavata. And so Durvasa Muni cursed him. You and all the demigods will be defeated by the demons, and you will be bereft of all of your material opulence. And the demons got word. Somebody sent them a text message. So they got their army together and they invaded the heavenly realm and they took over Indra's palace and they took over heaven. The Rakshasa demons were ruling heaven. So the demigods went to Lord Brahma. Brahma, help. Brahma said, let's go to the ocean of milk. He went to the ocean of milk, offered prayers. A voice came back that only Brahma heard and said, it's too late. The demigods, the demons are so powerful now. You just have to make a truce with them. And here's something that both the demigods and demons want, and that's immortality. So make a deal with them. We'll bring them here to the milk ocean. You churn the milk ocean to get this nectar of immortality. And there's no such thing as absolute immortality, but it's longevity with, this and that and the other, good health and nice things, but, nothing immortal. So Amrita. So the demons agreed, yes. And then the whole pastime occurred. And from that, the reason I'm telling this is there's Airavata appeared from the ocean, but Airavata was already existing because it was the trunk of Airavata that got the garland. So how did that happen? That was a good question, wasn't it? So one of the Chinese devotees asked that question. So I sent it to several learned devotees. And then some other devotees sent it to other learned devotees. And there was like a buzz about how did this happen? And there was one really nice answer. One really nice answer is from with the curse that they would lose their kingdom. He would lose all his opulence, and certainly material opulence. And Airavata is one of his material opulences. So it doesn't say specifically, but he lost his material opulence, and now he got his material opulence back because Airavata came from, maybe it's Airavata part 2, or maybe it's the original Airavata, or whatever. So Airavata is now back in existence, he had been bereft of his opulence. But one of the items, of the many items, the goddess of fortune appeared from the churning of the milk ocean. So that's what this is about. There's the Mahalakshmi of the spiritual world, and Mahalakshmi doesn't have to undergo austerity. She's the eternal associate of Narayana. So who is this Lakshmi? It's one of the avatars, and it is a pastime. She may have done what's described by the wives of the Kaliya serpent. And so for that purpose, like for example, the daughter Bhrigu described in Vedic scriptures, performed penances to attain the Lord as their husband, etc. And other, etc. means and other examples. So the good fortune that Kalia achieved, even the goddess of fortune, undergoing great austerities, wasn't able to achieve. She got that mark on the chest of the Lord, but not his lotus feet. But Narayana, the goddess of fortune, the eternal Narayana and Vaikuntha, she's there at his feet. Though one may say that the cause of Kaliya's qualification was association with his devotee wives. That's a logical understanding. How did this bad person become eligible for such mercy? Mercy that's very, very rare to achieve. We'll hear more about how rare. Living in the Jamuna was not raised as a qualification because he offended the river. Krishna, conversation between Krishna and Kaliya. You say that being touched by the dust of my feet is unparalleled mercy. What great result will a person get by attaining the dust of my feet? The Naga Patnis. No, you cannot say this. The result is greater than anything else. And what is that greater than anything else? Stay tuned, that's the next verse. So here it is, color-coded. You can see all the different phrases. We're going to go through these phrases. Those who have attained the dust of your lotus feet never hanker for the kingship of heaven, Indra, limitless sovereignty, the position of Brahma, or rulership over the earth. They are not interested even in the perfection of yoga or in liberation itself. The dust of Krishna's lotus feet are very special. So it's only a very special person that gets the dust of Krishna's lotus feet. So Kalia got it. There are many glorifications, this is commentary, of the touch of the dust of your lotus feet. The great effect of even a little surrender to your feet is inconceivable. This is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This phrase, those who surrender to the dust of your feet, indicates profound surrender, showing persons with a super excellent type of bhakti. So there's phrases, abundant phrases of just, a particle of dust from the feet of Krishna. And there's so many prayers or glorifications like that. But what the meaning is quite significant. What to speak of what Kalia got. He didn't just get dust, he got pounded again and again and again. He got a lot of dust. Kalia attained the unattainable. This is the final of these first 6 verses. O Lord, although this Kalia has taken birth in the mode of ignorance and is controlled by anger, he has achieved that which is difficult for others to achieve. embodied souls who are full of desires. This is still part of the translation. And are thus wandering in the cycle of birth and death, can have all benedictions manifested before their eyes simply by receiving the dust of your lotus feet. It's a very valuable entity, the dust of Krishna's lotus feet. Remember, from those of you that were with us earlier, when the village residents found out that Krishna was in the coils of the Kaliya serpent, they panicked and they ran. And how did they know where to go? They followed his footprints in the sand. So they're praising and honoring his footprints because they're going to lead to him so they can rescue him from this danger. Although we conditioned, this is BBT commentary, although we conditioned souls may not receive the mercy of having the Lord dance on our head, we can receive the dust of the feet of the Absolute through the Lord's representative, the bona fide spiritual master. Now here's Prabhupada with a cane. Some of you were in the temple for Mangalar, for the Bhagavatam class, and at the Mukhya made some announcement about a cane that Prabhupada had used. But Panchagota kidnapped the cane. Yeah. He said actually the person who had given the cane wanted it to go to Vrindavan, and somehow that wasn't properly communicated to Mukhya. So he told Mukhya afterwards, this is meant for Vrindavan, please. So he was carrying the cane around and touching people in the head. Touching, not whacking, but just a touch of the cane, just like this cane that's pictured here. So the mercy of Krishna can be achieved through the mercy of the representative of Krishna. Just have to find one of those representative of Krishna persons. By thinking of those feet, everyone can immediately attain all perfections. Though one identifies with the body, one can attain material wealth, one can attain spiritual powers, or one can attain prema. Therefore, now this snake whose hoods have accepted your lotus feet should attain special prema. They're very, very clever ladies. They're petitioning Krishna to give prema to our husband. You gave him your lotus feet, the dust of your lotus feet. He's now eligible for special prema vibhav. So that's the end of those 6 verses. Having praised the Lord's mercy in 6 verses, the Nagapatnis bow down again and again 11 times in the next 10 verses. I don't get that part. Do you get that part?
Naga, it's used 11 times.
You puzzled on that one too, huh?
This is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote like.
But how did you know how the 11 was gotten from the 10 verses? He says it in his commentary. Thanks. Because those are the kind of questions people ask. So now, this is not just entertainment. It's a meditation. These are pure devotees, and someone is going to be singing the Sanskrit of these Anushtup meter, very simple meter, just like Bhagavad Gita meter, and then the translation, and then we'll discuss a little bit. So see that little horn at the bottom? That means it's recorded.
Namastubhyam Bhagavate Purushaya Mahatmane Bhutavasaya Bhutaya Paraya
we offer our obeisances unto you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although present in the hearts of all living beings as the Super Soul. You're all pervasive. Although the original shelter of all created material elements, you exist prior to their creation. And although the cause of everything, you're transcendental to all material cause and effect, being the Supreme Soul.
Now it's kind of philosophical, and it's kind of like Upanishadic. You exist before everything existed. Prior to creation, you existed. And as from that position, you're the cause, and you're present within everything as the super soul. So they understand who they're speaking to. Now notice the nice painting upstairs. There's demigods showering flowers. Down below, there's the Naga Patnis offering their prayers. Krishna looks pretty tiny in this painting. And then there's the Nanda and Yashoda, etc. And some couple skinny cowherd boys. Paraya Paramatmane, one of the key phrases. I offer my respects to the Lord who controls all. Paraya. Who inspires everything. Paramatmane. By the order of the Lord, all are engaged in action, but not being touched by the faults of persons engaged, he dispenses punishment in an astonishing way. This is Sanatana Goswami. Or, Paraya can mean the person who is situated separately from all others and who is in the hearts of all beings. Now, there was having a discussion today with Shesha through his gifted Madhumati translator wife, because he can only whisper, and I can't understand, but she's understanding everything he says. So there was one of the topics we were discussing was in relation to this, the rasa within these pastimes. And one particular acharya, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, is really zeroed in on and gifted at revealing and explaining and churning the rasa topic. He sees and experiences that way. And here's another example. It's not like rasa is missing, it's just not highlighted in the same way that Vishwanath does. And so this is Sanatana Goswami. Certainly Sanatana Goswami understands all about rasa. But he's taking Sanskrit terms, and they can mean this, they can mean that, they can mean another thing. And without highlighting the rasa, if one is a careful listener, one can appreciate the rasa. And so a regard for the personality of Godhead that the wives of the Kaliya serpent have, they're using these two terms, paraya and paramatmane. So paramatma we know, invocative is paramatmane. So because he's in the hearts of all beings, the person who is situated separately from all others and is in the heart of all beings, that's the Supreme Lord, Paraya. He controls all, and he's at their heart. And it's a tattva teaching, but it's also a very meaningful stimulation of rasa, because there he is, standing before them, and they're understanding who he is. Though he is the Lord, Purushaya, he spreads everywhere. Purushaya Mahatmane. That's two other phrases in the verse. Bhutasvasaya, Bhutaya. Though he is the controller of all jivas, he appears in the form of the jiva. He lives among the people and takes birth. They comment or quote this verse from the 10th canto, chapter 90. Jayati Janani Vaso Devaki Janmavado. It's a celebrated phrase. Krishna lives eternally among the cowherd men and the Yadavas. Eternally. And is conclusively both the son of Devaki and Yashoda. So there. How can he be the son of both? Eternally he is. Within his pastimes, he's the son of Devaki. Eternally, he's the son of both. So that's how the commentary is presenting this. So remember, there's 10 such verses. We just covered one. Here comes another.
ज्ञानविज्ञाननिधये ब्रह्मणेऽनन्तशक्तये अगुणाय विकाराय नमस्ते प्राकृताय च.
Obeisances unto you, the absolute truth, who are the reservoir of all transcendental consciousness and potency, and the possessor of unlimited energies. Although completely free of material qualities and transformations, you are the prime mover of material nature.
You know, what school did these Nagapatnis go to learn all these things? And who was their guru to teach them all these things? But they're very elevated, and so it's tattva, Krishna tattva, and they understand it. You know, and summarizing it so swiftly and so succinctly, it reads like an Upanishadic verse. You know, Om Purnamadak Purnamadam Purnat Purnamudachyate, all those nice verses of Ishopanishad. And the Upanishadic text is not easy to understand, but this is easy to understand. The reservoir of all transcendental consciousness and potency and possessor of unlimited energies. Free, so this is this agunaya vikaraya. So he oversees all material varieties, but he's not contaminated by. He's the prime mover of the material qualities, but he's not mixed with the material qualities. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. In this verse, he is described as the object of jnanis, because this is a gyan type kind of topic. We offer respects as the goal of the jnanis to he who is the reservoir of all knowledge and chit shakti, jnana vijnana nidhi, just as the ocean is a reservoir of all gems. Nice. Or, other commentary, you are knowledge itself and an ocean of vijnana. We offer our respects to he whose qualities do not transform into material qualities. Agunaya, avikaraya. So there's the transformation, vikar, but there's no material, there's no transformation of his qualities into material qualities. The Maya that's a reflection of the spiritual world is not a transformation. He doesn't lose his spiritual quality by the reflection of his spiritual quality. He stays unchanged in the spiritual world and when he appears in this world. They're very elevated ladies. We offer respects to he who has variety of non-material qualities. The material qualities inferred by the foolish persons are rejected in your human form, which is worshipped by the devotee. And they're just getting started. There's 2 out of 10. And here's number 3. Notice how many times Kala appears in this verse.
Kalaya kalanabhaya kalavayava sakshine vishvaya tadupadrashre tatkartre vishvahitave.
Obeisances unto you, who are time itself, the shelter of time, and the witness of time in all its phases. You are the universe and also its separate observer. You are its creator and also the totality of all its causes.
These ladies are philosophers. Though the Lord appears in time and space, he is not affected by the qualities of material time and space. We pay respects to you who are time, Kala Swarup. You are the shelter of time, Kala Nabhaya. You are the witness of divisions of time, Kala Avyaya Shakshi. You are the witness, but not contaminated. We pay respects to you, who are the form of the universe, Vishva, but not touched by it, being not only its witness, but its controller, Upadrishtaye. You are not only its controller, but its cause. What more can be said? We offer our respects to you. So, stepping back, for the purpose of creation, there's material nature is needed, and Mahavishnu arranges, and then in addition to the elements of creation, then the living entities have to be supplied. So Rama Devi supplies the living entities who are within the body of the Supreme Lord. And then she also arranges for the sending of the time energy, because things can't happen without time. Time energy brings things into being, and time energy destroys all things. So you are that time energy. You are time. Kala Swarup. Just exactly as Krishna says, time I am. destroyer of all things. And then during different phases of time, during the cosmic manifestation, you're the witness, but you're not of all the divisions of time, but you're not contaminated by that which you witness. So he Krishna maintains his transcendental position at all times. Here's the next.
भूतमात्रेन्द्रियप्राणा मनोबुद्ध्याशयात्मने त्रिगुणेनाभिमानेन गूढस्वात्मानुभूतये.
Obeisances unto you, who are the ultimate soul of the physical elements, of the subtle basis of perception, of the senses, of the vital air of life, and of the mind, intelligence, and consciousness. By your arrangement, the infinitesimal spirit souls falsely identify with the three modes of material nature, and their perception of their own true self thus becomes clouded.
There's just a retelling of, the fundamentals of material creation and material existence in their own unique way. But you are not just the cause, you are the very soul of the material elements, giving them life. But what is remarkable is that giving them life, you make those who are full of life appear like matter. You cover the knowledge, anubhuti, of the jivas, svatma, by the three gunas. You're the one that's behind all of this. Now here's the next.
नमो नन्दाय सूक्ष्माय कूटस्थाय विपश्चिते नानावाधानुरोधाय वाच्यवाचकशक्तये.
We offer our obeisances unto you, the unlimited Supreme Lord, the supremely subtle one, the omniscient personality of Godhead, who are always fixed in unchanging transcendence, who sanction the opposing views of different philosophies, and who are the power upholding expressed ideas and the words that express them.
In simple language, one can say, aside from all of these details, Krishna is the basis and foundation of everything. But you start unpacking, what does that mean? And you get these prayers. So they're very elevated personalities, these ladies. And, where this is going is after honoring and honoring and honoring, they're displaying their wisdom, their virtue, their capacity to understand the transcendence, and then they're going to make a request. That's where the final verses come. Please release our husband. So here's 3 namahas. Yeah? This is one of those. Here we go.
नमः प्रमाणमूलाय कवये शास्त्रयोनये प्रवृत्ताय निवृत्ताय निगमाय नमो नमः.
We offer our obeisances again and again to you, who are the basis of all authoritative evidence, who are the author and ultimate source of the real scriptures, and who have manifested yourself in those Vedic literatures, encouraging sense gratification, as well as in those encouraging renunciation of the material world.
Now this is the pravriti and nivriti, the path of increasing material enjoyment, the path of decreasing material enjoyment. And both are Vedic. There's two paths, or two general paths, and then details and details. So the Vedic wisdom provides everything, and they're honoring that Krishna, who just danced like a madman on the hoods of our husband, is the original personality of Godhead. And so back to how they started those first prayers, what mercy did our husband get, and what entitled him, what prompted that mercy? If we did not have the powers of perception and cognition, evidence could not be transmitted. If we had no tendency to believe in particular modes of evidence, persuasion could not take place. All these processes, perception, cognition, persuasion, transmission, take place through various potencies of the Supreme Lord. And those potencies of the Supreme Lord come to us through Vyasadeva, through the scriptures. We pay my respect. We pay respects to the root proof, Srimad Bhagavatam, the topmost scriptural proof, Mula Pramana, and to Vyasadeva, the composer. The meaning is, in the form of Vyasadeva himself, we pay respects to you, who reveal the scriptures. We pay respects unto the scriptures propounding artha, dharma, kama, and moksha, both pravriti and nivriti, and unto you, the root, or nigama. Nigama commonly means scripture, like nigama kalpataror galitam palam vidam. Nigama, scripture. But you're the root of all of this. Just a few more of these prayers. Here's another two more namahas, beginning and the end.
नमः कृष्णाय रामाय वसुदेवसुताय च प्रद्युम्नाय निरुद्धाय सात्वतां पतये नमः.
We offer our obeisances to Lord Krishna and Lord Rama, the sons of Vasudeva, and to Lord Pradyumna and Lord Aniruddha. We offer our respectful obeisances unto the Master of all the saintly devotees of Vishnu.
Now here, the first line, Krishna is the son, Krishna and Balaram, in this case Rama means Balaram. They're the sons of Vasudeva, because Vasudeva had multiple wives, and one of those wives was Rohini, who became the mother of Balaram. So Vasudeva is the father of Balaram, and Vasudeva is the father of Krishna. So they're offering obeisances to both Krishna and Balaram, sons of Vasudeva. And then to Lord Pradyumna and Lord Aniruddha. Now these lords, Pradyumna and Aniruddha, these are part of the Chatur Vyuha personalities in the spiritual world, because the son of Krishna and the grandson of Krishna haven't been born yet. The Dwarka pastimes are much later. So these are the personalities of the spiritual world. And these queens, these wives of the Kaliya serpent, they knew. They're very elevated personalities, very learned personalities. And he, Krishna, you, Krishna, you're the master of all saintly devotees of Vishnu, and they're offering their respects. So they're addressing the Chaturvyuha, those four. By addressing Krishna, they address Vasudeva and Rama, Vasudeva, Krishna, son of Vasudeva, Sankarshan, and then they say Pradyumna and Aniruddha, or Rama Sankarshan. And furthermore, the word cha, this is Sridhar Swami's commentary, the word cha here indicates the son of Nanda. We offer respects to all these forms, to the son of Vasudeva, Vasudeva Sutta, and Nanda's son as well. So Nanda's son, who's who? Same. Krishna. Sattvatam Patihi can mean the protector of the devotees, or the protector of Vasudeva and the Sattvata dynasty. Now, these prayers go through to the very end, and I think I'm not going to go to the very end, because while it's sweet, it's also taxing and time-consuming. So here's verse number 46.
Namo Guna Pradipaya Gunatmachadanaya cha Gunavrityupalakshaya Gunadrashresva Samvide.
Obeisances to you, O Lord, who manifest varieties of material and spiritual qualities. You disguise yourself with the material qualities, and yet the functioning of those same material qualities ultimately reveals your existence. You stand apart from the material qualities as a witness, and can be fully known only by your devotees.
Of course, these ladies are devotees, and they seem to know him quite well. We can find out a lot about Krishna from these ladies. So it's going to go through the color coding in the first upper right, Guna Pradipaya. Guna Pradipaya has different meanings. For the devotees, you're the revealer of your spiritual qualities that arise from his spiritual form. As Lord of the devotees, you reveal qualities such as mercy. You are revealed by exchanges in which you are bound by affection to the devotees. So guna can mean rope. Krishna was bound by the rope in the Damodar Lila. But the rope of affection, he was bound by the affection of Mother Yasoda, not just by the rope. Guna Pradipaya. Gunatma Chandanaya. You hide your nature by disappearing sometimes. One can see you by going beyond the screen of material nature, and therefore you are called Gunatma Chandanaya. These are elevated prayers, elevated personalities. Guna Vritti Upalakshaya. If one methodically and intelligently studies the functioning of material qualities, he will ultimately conclude that there is a Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, Prabhupada does this all the time, describing this in the material nature, and behind there must be. How can there, so many examples, but how can you see an airplane flying in the sky? It's not flying alone. There's somebody pushing the buttons. So if the airplane requires somebody pushing the buttons, who's pushing the buttons? What's behind the material creation? By inference, it's not proof, but it's the only sensible conclusion. Guna drishte, guna drashtre, swa sambide. The Lord sees the good qualities in his devotee, not the faults. And he appears in his devotee's heart. And we're nearing an end of these 10 verses. Here we go.
सर्वव्याकृतसिद्धये ऋषिकेश नमस्तेस्तु मुनये मौनशीलिने.
O Lord Rishikesha, Master of the senses, please let us offer our obeisances unto you, whose pastimes are inconceivably glorious. Your existence can be inferred from the necessity for a creator and revealer of all cosmic manifestations. But although your devotees can understand you in this way, to the non-devotees you remain silent, absorbed in self-satisfaction.
Avyakrita is going to get attention here. This inexplicable or unexplained quality. Your pastimes are inexpressible and inexplicable even by scripture. Your pastimes, which appear material but are not. You perform your pastimes without any special formalities, like love without marriage, etc. It is very spontaneous. You endow your the devotee, with abilities to serve you perfectly. So we're ready to wrap up, I think, because there's a lot of dense philosophy, which is nice. It's nice to study it, each one of these verses, like one might study Ishopanishad or any one of the scriptural texts that are highly philosophical. Here's our last. This is the last one, yes? Okay.
परावरगति ज्ञाय सर्वाध्यक्षाय ते नमः अविश्वाय च विश्वाय तद्द्रष्ट्रेस्य च हेतवे.
Obeisances unto you, who know the destination of all things, superior and inferior, and who are the presiding regulator of all that be. You are distinct from the universal creation, and yet you are the basis upon which the illusion of material creation evolves, and also the witness of this illusion. Indeed, you are the root cause of the entire world.
Yet, Sridhar Swami's commentary on the division of these prayers, and this is glorification of Krishna, and coming up is they're going to make some requests specific to their husband, that he be forgiven, he be released, and so forth, and their appreciation of how he has become transformed by Krishna's dancing on his hoods, and they're requesting Krishna to release him now that he's purified. Allow him to leave this place, peacefully, so that your mission has been accomplished, and that the residents of Vrindavan are now protected. So they're going to make some appeals like this coming. At some point in time, I'm going to present this again, and I'll probably do it a little differently, spending more time on each of the verses, perhaps, because just going through the verse after verse after verse, it's heavy. Not sure how to do it. Krishna maybe will inspire how to do it. Any comments or questions? These young boys that sat in the front row that like Kaliya Damana Lila somehow found something more attractive.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, it was a very, very good class. One question, this is with Mohini Murthy. The entire churning of the ocean came because Lakshmi Devi gave a garland to Durvasa Muni, and then it started. But then after churning the ocean, Lakshmi Devi came from there. Is it same Lakshmi Devi or different?
Different. And an expansion of, not the original.
I see. So, like avatars.
Yes, but the original can expand. As Krishna can expand, the goddess of fortune can expand.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Hey Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, in the material world, we have seen like women are generally more bhava or, more soft-hearted.
Yes.
And that's what we were seeing when you were saying that these Naga Patnis are so elevated already. But, so not in comparison, but when we think about the spiritual platform, there is no gender.
There's no what?
Like all the souls are same, or they're also that they are like they have males and females. I mean, we see the jiva and the bond between the Lord and the jivas is like all the jivas are equal there. So how do we reconcile this?
There's some background noise, and I didn't get all of what you said. Did you get what she said? Could you repeat? No microphone, just let her say it.
Nagapatnis also expressed in softness, and they also spoke philosophy. And the question, what I understood was that in spiritual world also is there this male-female type of
Personality?
natures.
That's your question?
Yeah.
Why not? Your mother Jasoda and Nanda Maharaj, for example. Or there's cows and there's bulls. There's male and there's female. No, the roles may be different, but there's nature. And within the source of everything is everything. So when the source of everything manifests the spiritual, there's diversity. But it's not temporary and limited. Here is temporary and limited. Yes, there's diversity. All diversity. Including the tender-heartedness, etc.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. I've got one question about
Just turn the volume down. Turn the volume down. He's got the master control. Go ahead.
comment about Lakshmi Devi in the present section of Bhagavatam at our temple, which we are studying. A few verses ago, it was mentioned about Lakshmi Devi wanting to enter the rasa dance and how she was practicing austerities for hundreds of years, but she could not enter because she wanted to, the answer given was that she could not enter the rasa dance because she wanted to maintain her present status of situated on the chest of
Yeah, the Aishwarya mood.
Aishwarya mood. So what I wanted to ask you was, which Lakshmi wanted to enter? Was it the Mahalakshmi or one of her avatars?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Neither of them.
Neither.
Lakshmi is Lakshmi. There's the original and there's the expansion from the original, but they're all in this Aishwarya mood. And the Braja Madhurya mood is unique, one of a kind. However qualified.
The reason I was asking was because you mentioned that Mahalakshmi and
Yeah,
this.
I just was repeating what.
Okay, so it could be either any of them.
Yeah, same. They're Aishwarya mood, the original and the expansions of the original Aishwarya mood.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj. I also wanted to just, one other thing which I had heard some time ago was that Krishna dealt with the serpents in Braj Lila when Balaram was not there, because Balaram is Sheshanag and he didn't want to offend Balaram. So he wanted, because he's in the caste of snakes. So Agasura pastime also, Balaram is not there. And Kalia pastime also, Balaram is not there. Krishna didn't want to do it when Balaram was present. So I heard that some time ago. I don't know if it's from the Acharya's commentary.
I don't either. It's not, I'm not saying yes or no. I don't know.
Yeah, I heard.
So go to that person who said it some years ago and ask them, could you show me the scriptural reference?
Okay. But, okay, Maharaj.
And until then, it's not a good idea to repeat because we don't know. So why repeat something you don't know? That if you can do some research, you can find it, fine.
When they were speaking about the Acharyas, I don't know which Acharya. So, but since you did not
got
come.
what I said.
Yes.
I'll give a little example. we had this little discussion about the Kastuba gem. And there was, with a little research, it was found how the Kastuba gem got in the possession of the Naga Patnis, how it got into the treasury of Kalia. And Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur has his statement. So somebody said, this is one of those somebody said, that Amarendra said, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I won't even repeat what they said that Amarendra said. So I said to Amarendra, this is what it was said that you said. Could you give me the scriptural reference? And he was like ticked off. I didn't say that. But it was very explicit. I won't even say what it was said, what he said. He said, I didn't say that. What I said was the reference from Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, and then he, Vishwanath, rests his opinion on something written by Rupa Goswami in Radha Krishna Godadesh Dipika. So that took care of that one. He never said it. No, if he said it, then maybe it's recorded somewhere. Maybe he did say it. I don't know. I'm not going to go pursue that. But so in this case, I could directly ask him, did you say this? What's the scriptural reference for this statement? That's what I asked. And he said, I didn't say that. So he said, she said. Okay. Well, our audience kind of thinned out.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah, hi, Paul.
Maharaj, my question is regarding the prayers.
Yeah.
So, what is better, to repeat the prayers,
Or
to mechanically somewhat repeat, because this is very difficult set of prayers,
yes, it
or
is.
to just do the best you can with your own prayer to Krishna?
Well, you're going to give me another choice and multiple guess?
I'm sure there can be more, but my mind can only think of these two right now.
The standard prayers are best, and from standard prayers, one may then generate personal prayers, resting upon or in alignment with standard prayers. But, first comes the hearing, and then comes speaking. Shravanam before Kirtanam. Now, I don't know if you or I or anybody else in this room is going to offer prayers like these prayers, because they're very philosophical, but at least in alignment with that which you know is authentic. How's that?
Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Uh-oh. Thank you.
So I was just wondering, like in Ramayan, there are different personalities like Valmiki and other Ramayans, and so according to their realization, the story differs a little bit.
Yes.
And every yuga when Ramayan happens, there's some difference. So does it happen in Krishna Lila too?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And another question was, today we were reading Bhagavatam and there's a Pingala part came, Pingala the prostitute. And here also I see that Naga Patnis, they're devotees.
Faithful.
They're faithful, they're devotees. And even Kalia is so envious, and Krishna is so merciful even after that. And in Pingala's story, don't know the background, but
They don't know how it happened.
Yes, like how they get the bhakti, like without.
So I thought you were going to ask how they get married to that guy. But, how do they get their bhakti? I don't know of any. You get bhakti from one who has bhakti. That's how you get bhakti. But the details of how that happened, there's no indication. So we don't know. But, somewhere, Purana, somewhere, that may be known. I don't know of any Purana or any history that says how they receive their knowledge, other than in principle. You receive bhakti from a bhakta.
Can Krishna just be merciful and just, randomly give or no?
Well, you're asking the same question again. The background of how they achieved what they achieved, the devotion and realizations that they achieved, however they achieved it, Krishna must have known. And he didn't say, "Hey, ladies, where'd you get all this? How'd you understand me like this?" He didn't ask that. He knows past, present, and future. So he accepted their prayers, and because they made some request, not only because they made some request, there was a whole purpose to this pastime, was to not only free the river Jamuna from the poison and the contamination of this person's presence and send him back to Ramanaka Island, to purify him. So, this it's the same question. What is it that Sanatana Goswami saw about Kalia, that he speaks in these very glowing terms about Kalia? There's something behind the envy and the poison and the this and the that there's something. Were you there did you hear the morning class? Panchagoda's question about divine and demoniac? You didn't hear. Where is the demonic? The Krishna is the source of everything, and there's these two, the divine and demoniac, Sura and Asura. So Krishna is the source of both. So why would Krishna do something like that? Because the Asuras put the devotees into difficulty, or sometimes kill, and sometimes this and that, and harass, and Krishna permits it. He sanctions it. So why does Krishna do like that? It wasn't exactly the question, but that was kind of the direction of the question. We didn't reach a firm conclusion other than it's just the nature of duality. And those who buy into duality, there's both. And then there's the tendency for both depending upon the modes of nature with which one associates. And then, Kalia was in this darker mode, and therefore angry, and therefore, poison, and therefore he was like he was like. But he became completely freed from all of that. Because there's something beneath that, and minimally the association of his pure devotee wives. He got bhakti through them. Even it wouldn't easily take root because there was such dark covering. And so Krishna removed the dark covering. So he surrendered to Krishna. He understood him. And how you can't understand if you're covered by those heavy modes. You can't understand. Krishna relieved him. And that's what's coming in the upcoming prayers. The remaining 5 prayers. Next time. Yes.
So Hare Krishna Maharaj. So following up on Panchagoda Prabhu's question, can we understand that the reason why Krishna allows the demoniac to act in a demoniac way to give the sufferings to the devotees is Krishna doesn't want to interfere in the free will of the jivas. So
Yeah.
can we
Yeah,
understand
he
that?
sanctions, but he doesn't want the mode of goodness type or the mode of ignorance type. He doesn't want either. But he allows free will. So the come into the material world means misuse of free will. Period. That there's worse and there's less worse or better. But it's free will. And there must be free will. Otherwise there's no life. There's no love without free will. Okay?
Thank you.
Well done. Online question? Okay. You want to the microphone or no? Oh, you got one. Look at that.
This question is from Ananya Mataji. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. In some lectures, I have heard that there are many, many universes that are being created and destroyed. So as per my understanding, Krishna takes birth as per each yuga cycle. So the question is, are the Leelas are also same every time in each universe?
Well, it doesn't, just a modification of the preamble. It's not that Krishna takes birth in each yuga cycle. Krishna takes birth in each day of Brahma. And then the question, now back to the rest of the question, his Leela is eternal. That is, as he's appearing in this universe, shortly after he appears in this universe, he appears in another universe, another universe, another universe. Krishna's roadshow, Prabhupada calls it. So, yes, to the main part of the question. Okay? Yeah, sure.
So Maharaj, in one of the verse, Krishna was described as he also sanctioned different opposing philosophical views.
Yes. Otherwise, they can't exist without Krishna's sanction. So?
Question is, what is the purpose of different philosophical views? Like, if Krishna is sanctioning...
It's his free will question.
Okay.
Somebody likes this, and somebody likes that, and somebody likes the other, and Krishna doesn't say no. He sanctions free will. And then there's philosophies that support this one and that one and the other one. That's a very interesting refrigerator you got there. Is it part of the refrigerator or is something that's on the outside of the refrigerator? Part of the refrigerator. Did you check it out? Woo woo. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.